Hello everyone. Today I am going to start new chapter of your syllabus, that is of Pharmaceutical Organic Chemistry 2, and new chapter is Fats and Oils. In today's lecture we will discuss about introduction about fats and oils, difference between fats and oils, nomenclature of fats, and various chemical reactions of fats and oils. Introduction. Fats and oils are major part of the lipid that is present in the adipose tissue of the mammals. As we know that, right? Lipids are very important or essential molecules present into the mammals. Fats and oils are the ester of fatty acids and alcohols, and on hydrolysis gives fatty acids and alcohols. Right? As we know that acid and alcohol react with each other and form esters. Right? And esters on hydrolysis give back reaction and give product acids and alcohols. Right? So here fatty acids combine with alcohol and form esters. Especially in fats and lipids, here fatty acids combines with alcohols, and alcohols are glycerol. Right? So these are the glyceryl esters of various fatty acids. Right? Fats and oils are mainly the glyceryl esters. Glyceryl esters, that means esters of fatty acid and glycerol. Right? So that's why they are the glyceryl esters of various fatty acids. For example, palmitic acid, stearic acid, oleic acid, linoleic acid, and linolenic acids. Right? This type of fatty acids react with or form the esters with glycerols. Right? So these are also called as triglycerides. Right? The glyceryl esters of these fatty acids are also known as the triglycerides. Why? The three molecules of fatty acids condense with the 1 mole of or 1 molecule of glycerol to form the fat, because we know the structure of glycerol. Glycerol has the 3 OH group, alcoholic group, 3 alcoholic or hydroxyl group, OH group. Right? So to these three alcoholic group, 3 fatty acids can be reacted and form the corresponding esters. Right? For example, here in place of acid, butyric acid is taken. So 3 molecules of butyric acid make the ester linkage with the 3 alcoholic group of the glycerol. Right? And form the 3 ester linkage, OCO, OCO and OCO. Right? These are the different ester linkages. Right? And form the fat tributyrene. So here 3 fatty acids react with 1 molecule of glycerol which has the 3 hydroxyl group. Right? That's why they are known as the triglycerides. Right? Now, as we know that fats on hydrolysis with the help of enzyme lipase gives corresponding fatty acids and glycerol molecule. Right? And fats and oils are of 2 types, simple fats and oils and mixed fats and oils. Simple fats and oils, when the 3 fatty acids of the triglyceride are same. Right? Here 3 fatty acids of the triglyceride molecule are same, then they are known as the simple fats. Right? And when the 3 fatty acids of triglyceride are not identical, not same, right? Different fatty acids are attached with these 3 alcoholic group of glycerol, right? Then it is known as the mixed fat. Now neutral fats, it is also known as the natural fats. Natural fats are mainly mixed glycerides, right? Mixed triglycerides, right? And they do not have free acid or base group. They are neutral in nature, right? That's why they are known as the neutral fats. Natural fats are neutral fats because they are mixed triglyceride and do not have any free acidic or basic group, right? That's why in nature they are neutral, right? That's why they are known as the neutral fats. Okay? These natural fats and oils, they are obtained from the plants as well as animal sources, right? These natural fats can be obtained from plants as well as from animal sources. For example, lard, that is pig fat, tallow, that is beef fat, and coconut oil, castor oil, olive oil, soybean oil, etc. Right? Lard, that is pig fat, and tallow, that is beef fat, they are fat obtained from the animal source. Right? Coconut oil, castor oil, olive oil, soybean oil, right? These are the fat and oils which are obtained from the plant sources, right? Fat exists in animals under the skin, right? This type of fat in animal present under the skin as well as between muscular tissues. In plants, fats occur in seeds and fruits. For example, coconut oil, castor oil. In castor oil, they are present in the seeds of castor. In coconut oil, it is present in the fruit, right? Coconut. And in soybean oil also it is present in seed, right? So oils or fats which are obtained from the plant source, they are occur in seeds and fruits, right? And in animal sources, the fats present under the skin as well as between the muscular tissues, right? Crude fat, that is along with the glyceryl ester, contains some amount of fatty acids and 1 to 2% of unsaponifiable metal like sterols, right? Crude fat, that means that is directly obtained from the animal or plant source. They are not filtered, right? So when it is obtained directly from the natural source, then it contains glyceryl ester, that is fat, as well as some amount of free fatty acids and some amount of sterol, 1 to 2% of sterol, right? Next, difference between fats and oils. Fats are solid or semi-solid at room temperature, while oils are liquids at room temperature. Very simple, right? Fats contains large amount of saturated fatty acids. For example, stearic and palmitic acid, right? Stearic and palmitic acids contain the stearic and palmitic acid are the saturated fatty acids, right? So fats contains the saturated fatty acids like stearic and palmitic acid, while oils contain a large amount of unsaturated acids. Unsaturated acid, that means which have the carbon-carbon double bond, and saturated fatty acid, that means that does not contain any pi bond or double bond. It is a carbon-carbon single bonded acids, right? While unsaturated acid contain the carbon-carbon double bond, contain unsaturation, right? For example, oleic acid, right? Oleic acid is unsaturated fatty acid, right? Which is present in oils. Then fats melt at higher temperature. It requires higher temperature, while oils melt at lower temperature. Fats are generally animal fats and oils are generally vegetable fats, right? Fats are generally animal fats and oils are vegetable fats, because they are oils generally obtained from the vegetables, or you can say plant source, while fats are generally obtained from the animal source. Fats do not contain double bond. as we discussed in the point of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, right? Fats contain only saturated fatty acids, that's why they do not contain double bond, while oils contain unsaturated fatty acid, that's why they have the double bonds. Fats are more stable because it contains saturated fatty acids, right? There is no chances of oxidation of the double bond because here no double bond present, that's why they are more stable, while oils comparatively to fats are less stable because of presence of unsaturation, which are susceptible to the air oxidation. So these are the differences between the fats and oils. Next, nomenclature of fats. Generally, glycerol, which is the main part of the fat, right, that is the trihydric because it contains the 3 OH group, that's why they are known as the trihydric alcohol, right? And its triester has 3 acid residue, right? Trihydric alcohol has the 3 ester linkage, right? Glycerol has the 3 alcoholic group, that's why it can form the 3 ester linkage, that's why they are known as the triester, right? If all the 3 residues are identical, it is known as the simple fat, as we know that, and if they are not same, not identical, then fat is called mixed fat or mixed glycerides, right? For example, for simple fats, the name is given by naming the alcohol glycerol or its radical glyceryl in naming the acid, right? See here, giving name glycerol, right, and then tributyrate, that is the name of ester of acid. Here it is a ester of butyric acid, CH3, CH2, CH2, CO, right? So it is ester of butyric acid, that's why it ester can be named as butyrate, right? But to the glycerol, 3 butyrate molecules are attached, that's why tributyrate, or it can also be written as tributyrene, right? Here another example is of glycerol, tristearate, right, and tristearine, right? Glycerol condensed with the 3 molecules of stearic acid, right? So stearic acid in the form of ester can be written as stearate, and 3 molecules of stearate are condensed with the glycerol, that's why glycerol tristearate, and it can also be written as tristearine. Then chemical reactions of fats and oils. Fat and oils, first see physical properties. Fats and oils are colorless or pale yellow in color. These are insoluble in water and polar solvents, but soluble in non-polar solvents such as ether, carbon tetrachloride and carbon disulfide. As we know that lipids, fats and oils are lipid in nature, right? That's why they are not soluble in water and other polar solvents or hydrophilic solvents. They are soluble in non-polar solvents, for example, ether, carbon tetrachloride, carbon disulfide, chloroform, etc. Okay. Let's see the different chemical reactions of the fats and oils. These are the chemical reactions for fats and oils are hydrolysis, hydrogenation, hydrogenolysis, saponification, rancidification, drying oils, etc. So let's start with hydrolysis. Hydrolysis, that means breakdown of the ester linkage of the fat and oil with the help of water molecule or presence of water molecule, right? But here hydrolysis with the help of base is given when fat, this is the common structure of fat, are vary when different fatty acids present, right? CH2O, CO, CH2CO, that is the common for all fat and lipids. right? All are the glyceride ester, that's why glycerol molecule is condensed with the different fatty acids, same or different fatty acids, right? So this is the common structure for fat. So when fat undergoes the hydrolysis with the help of sodium hydroxide, it results in the cleavage of the ester linkage, right? Ester linkage get broken down, right? And give the glycerol and salts of long chain fatty acids, sodium salt of long chain fatty acid. This is also known as the SOP, right? That's why this process is also known as saponification, which will be see in deep in later on, right? Hydrolysis can also be done by heating fat with water under pressure, right? And alkaline hydrolysis of fats produces the salt of fatty acids, that is called SOP, as we say, right? And that's why it is known as the saponification. Now see the different hydrolysis reaction can be done by different three ways. First one is by water, right? Fat undergoes hydrolysis in presence of water, right? And zinc oxide at 443 Kelvin temperature and under 6 to 8 atmospheric pressure. Here zinc oxide is used as catalyst. So this fat is converted into glycerol and fatty acids, right? Next one, hydrolysis can be carried out by using enzyme. Hydrolysis of fats and oils can be done by adding enzyme lipase to an emulsion of fat in water. First prepare the emulsion of fat in water, that is oil and water type emulsion, right? Then to the emulsion of fat in water, enzyme lipase is added, right? In presence of enzyme lipase, ester linkage of the fat is broken down, right? And converted into free fatty acids and glycerols. Then by using acids, right? Mineral acids also causes the hydrolysis of fats. For this, mixture of sulfonic acids is used, and mixture of sulfonic acid which can be obtained by sulfonation of mixture of oleic acid and benzene, right? So corresponding sulfonic acid mixture is used for the hydrolysis of fat and oil, right? So in presence of the mixture of sulfonic acid, fat undergoes hydrolysis and form glycerol and fatty acid. Then hydrogenation. Hydrogenation, that means addition of hydrogen atom, right? Oils have large amount of unsaturated portion in the form of glycerides, as we know that, right? Because oils have the unsaturated fatty acids, right? So when hydrogen is passed through the oils, right? When this hydrogen gas is passed through the liquid oil, right, under pressure, and by using nickel as catalyst at high temperature, this oils gets converted into solid fat or semi-solid fat, right? Because unsaturated double bond gets saturated and converted into semi-solid content. This process is also known as hardening of oil, right? This process is also known as hardening of oil, because liquid oil is converted into hard material, that is in semi-solid or solid fat, right? That's why this process is known as the hardening of the oil, right? So you can also be asked with the hardening of oil, though hardening of oil is nothing but the hydrogenation of oil, right? So by hydrogenation, unsaturated acid part of the oil gets reduced into the saturated part, right? And that's why liquid oil gets converted into semi-solid fat, right? Hydrogenation is done effectively by adding small amount of the finely divided nickel or Raney nickel as a catalyst, right? For example, here an example is given, triolene, that is oil, right? This one is the triglyceride of oleic acid. Triolene, that is the triglyceride of oleic acid. See here C70H33, right? So when hydrogenation of this triolene is carried out, right, then it is converted into tristearine, which is the molecular formula C17H35. Right, so here 2 hydrogen atoms are added to each ester chain, right? So here 3 ester chain are present, so total 6 hydrogen are added to the 3 ester chain, right, and converted into C17H35 chain, right? That is known as the tristearine, which is a fat, right? It is a ester or glyceryl ester of the stearic acid, right? So this oil is converted into fat. So this process is known as the hardening of oil. Then hydrogenation, continue of hydrogenation. This actually hydrogenation is not carried out completely, right? But this process is stopped as the fat of required consistency and viscosity is obtained. As we know that as the hydrogenation is going on, then hardening of the oil occur, right? So when the process arrived at the product with the desired consistency and viscosity, then this process is stopped, right? And the fat, obtained fat looks like the ghee in appearance, right? And it's known as the Vanaspati ghee, right? That's why this process is used for the preparation of Vanaspati ghee. And fully hydrogenated fats are very hard, right? Fully hydrogenated fats are very hard and cannot be digested easily into the intestine, right? Very difficult to digest in small intestine, right? So that's why it should be stopped when we get the product of desired consistency and viscosity, right? Then it is also useful for the production of margarine. It is also product of oil, hardening of oil, looks like the butter, right? So hydrogenation converts only a part of glycerides of unsaturated acid into those of saturated acid, right? And this property used in the production of the margarine, right? And also vegetable ghee. The hydrogenation process carried out like the purified oil is taken in an iron tank that is surrounded by the heating jacket at 150 to 200 degrees Celsius temperature, right? Now to the tank contain purified oil, finely divided nickel is added, right? And under pressure hydrogen gas is passed through the tank. So hydrogenation is done till the fat of desired consistency is obtained, right? Hard oil is taken out and filtered, various flavoring agents are added, and finely packed airtight containers are used for the storage of the this hydrogenated fat or oil, right? The hydrogenation process involves various complications, right, like isomerization, selective reduction, etc. And these problems can be overcome by arresting the reaction before all the unsaturated fat gets completely saturated with hydrogen, right? That is, incomplete hydrogenation is carried out to overcome the problem of isomerization and selective reduction, right? So it is the hydrogenation process it is also known as the hardening of oil, and this process is useful for the preparation of vanaspati ghee and margarine. Hydrogenolysis. Hydrogenolysis, that means breakdown of the fat molecule with the help of hydrogen gas. Right? This is a cleavage reaction in which fat or oil molecule is treated with excess of hydrogen gas under pressure in the presence of copper chromium catalyst. In this reaction, fat or oil gets splits up into glycerol and higher aliphatic alcohol. See, glycerol is formed, and instead of fatty acid here, higher molecular weight, higher aliphatic alcohol is produced. Right? This one is octadecyl alcohol. Then saponification. As we see that when hydrolysis of fats and oil is carried out by using alkali like caustic soda or caustic potash, right, or alkaline, then alkaline salt of fatty acid is produced, and that alkaline salt or sodium salt of fatty acid is known as the soap, and that's why this reaction is known as the saponification. See here, tripalmitin fat is given. Tripalmitin, that means this one is the glyceryl ester of palmitic acid, right? So when tripalmitin react with or undergoes hydrolysis with the help of sodium hydroxide, it will produce the sodium palmitate, which is sodium salt of palmitic acid, and glycerol. Then rancidification. Now, what is rancidification? On long storage and in contact with air, moisture and sunlight, oils and fats undergo decomposition, right, and start smelling unpleasant. This process is known as the rancidification, right? Decomposition of fats and oils due to the long storage and in contact with air, moisture and sunlight, they start smelling unpleasant. Right? This process is known as rancidification, and oil is said to be rancid oil. Right? Oil after rancidification process, that is known as the rancid oil. Right? Rancidity occurs due to different reasons. First one is due to oxidation of unsaturated acids, due to enzymatic hydrolysis, or due to beta oxidation of unsaturated fatty acids. So first, oxidation of unsaturated acids. So in presence of light and moisture, small amount of unsaturated fatty acids present in oil or fat get oxidized by air, right? Due to presence of double bond, unsaturated acid undergoes or susceptible to the oxidation, air oxidation, due to presence of double bonds, right? So unsaturated acids undergoes oxidation and converted into peroxides, right? These peroxides further break down into aldehyde, right, having the unpleasant smell and taste, right? So saturated fatty acid do not get rancid. This problem can be checked by adding small quantity of phenolic substance which act as antioxidants, right? So especially oxidation, this type of oxidation occurs only with the oils because they contain the unsaturated fatty acids, right? So saturated fatty acid glycerides do not undergoes this type of oxidation reactions. Then enzymatic hydrolysis, due to presence of microorganisms, fats or oils gets hydrolyzed by enzyme and produce fatty acids which having the sour taste, right, and unpleasant odor. For example, butter. Butter gets rancid due to production of butyric acid in this manner, right? So many times butter produces the sour taste and unpleasant odor. That is due to the hydrolysis of fatty acid due to microorganism, right? So it produces the butyric acid, and butyric acid produces the sour taste as well as unpleasant odor, right? So that is the enzymatic hydrolysis. This is also one type of rancidification of butter. Then beta oxidation of saturated fatty acids. Now fats generally contain the saturated fatty acids, so they undergo the ketone rancidity, right? See, in first oxidation of unsaturated fatty acids, we see that it produces the aldehyde products which produces unpleasant odor. In enzymatic hydrolysis, they produces the acids which cause the unpleasant odor as well as sour taste, right? In beta oxidation of saturated fatty acid, they produces the ketones, so it is known as the ketone rancidity. Saturated acid undergo beta oxidation and form keto acids, right, which gives carbon dioxide and form ketones, and these ketones produces the pungent unpleasant odor. See, beta oxidation of saturated fatty acid. This one is example of caprolic acid, undergoes the beta oxidation and produces the beta keto acid. So from the carboxylic acid group on beta carbon, ketone group is produced. Here this one is alpha, this one is beta. So on beta carbon ketone group is produced, that's why beta keto caprolic acid, right? Now it undergoes the decarboxylation, it releases the carbon dioxide and form the corresponding ketone molecule, and this ketone molecule produces the pungent unpleasant odor, right? So these are the different rancidification reactions. Next one is drying oils. Some glycerides of unsaturated fatty acids or unsaturated fats and oils having two or more double bonds, right? So they can absorb oxygen from air and gets polymerized, right, and form hard transparent coating. And this coating can be used in making paints and oil cloth. This phenomenon is known as the drying and oil as drying oil, right? This phenomenon is known as drying, and the oil which produce this type of transparent coating, they are known as the drying oil. For example, linseed oil, tung oil, perilla oil, etc. They are the drying oil, right? If the given acid contains conjugated system of double bond, right, then drying takes place much more rapidly as compared to fats contain the non-conjugated double bond, right? Drying process involves addition of oxygen to the unsaturated bonds, right, and cause some amount of polymerization. Drying can be achieved faster by addition of the dryers like salts of manganese, lead, etc. Oils, depending upon their exposure to light and air, can be classified as non-drying oil, drying oil and semi-drying oil. So non-drying oil, these oils on exposure to light and on long storage gets rancid, as we studied in rancidification, right? Oils get decomposed into glycerol and fatty acids, that is in saturated and unsaturated, right, fatty acids. The unsaturated acid get oxidized into aldehydes and acids with lesser carbon atoms in the molecule. This reaction we studied in oxidation of unsaturated acids and rancidification. The saturated fatty acids get decomposed by enzymes to form ketones, right? For example, olive oil and almond oil, these are the non-drying oils. That means these oils cannot produce the transparent film, right? They do not undergo the polymerization in presence of oxygen, but they produces the different products which produces the unpleasant odor and taste, right? So they undergoes the rancidification process generally, non-drying oils, right? They are not drying oils. They do not produces the transparent film, but they produces the rancid fat or rancid oil, right? For example, olive oil and almond oil. Then drying oils. These oils have high level of linoleic acid and low content of the linolenic acid. Sorry, they are the semi-drying oil. Drying oils, they form solid elastic film, right? Drying oils form a solid elastic film. A good drying oil dries within 4 to 5 hours. Example, linseed oil. And the drying oils are used as a medium for paints, varnishes and lacquers. Paints are nothing but the suspension of some pigments of the organic coloring matter in linseed oil, to which some turpentine oil has been added as a thinner, right? These paints, when applied on the wooden surface, right, they quickly dry up and form the tough organic film that protect the surface, right, by leaving the transparent thick film, right, due to polymerization. So this is the drying oils. Semi-drying oils have high level of linoleic acid and low content of the linolenic acid as compared to non-drying oils, right? And examples of the semi-drying oils are sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, etc. Right? Thank you.